Here we are at the Van Andel Arena where the Ringling Brothers Barnum Bailey Circus is going on, and I've got Tom Lyon and was it Karen Tracey?
Karen Tracy, yes.
Of Grand Rapids for Animals, and right now the circus is yelling in the background. So anyhow, could you come a little closer to the camera?
Absolutely.
Sure.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about your organization and what you're doing here.
Grand Rapids for Animals has been around for about 10 years now, and we're primarily here to inform people about why the circus is not the best choice to make for family entertainment. Animals in the circus are abused, they're wild animals, and they're not generally able to keep a wild animal contained without force. So they use things like bull hooks and whips and cages and stuff to keep them contained. And we're here just to try to let folks know that we don't think that that's a good choice, and it's not a proper thing to show your children. It's not a good example.
Right.
Don't go!
We want people to come out and have fun with their families. Of course we do.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, it's simply not possible to provide, as Karen was mentioning, for the quality of life for the elephants, the big cats, the lions and tigers, and other exotic animals that are in the circus. So there's a couple of ways that we know that for sure. One, for example, is if you can step aside for just a second. This is one of the techniques that they use to train a baby elephant. Elephants are wild animals, so they're not domesticated animals like, say, horses or dogs. So what they're doing here is they are forcing that animal, that baby elephant, into that position, and they are emotionally breaking it down so that then they can make it more malleable to train the way that they want. So you'll see people train dogs, you'll see people train horses on television. You'll never be invited to watch training of elephants. And that tool right there is called a bull hook. And the elephant will learn very quickly a couple things. One, it can resist all it wants. It's not going to get out of that situation, and that's part of what they're teaching it with those ropes. They're forcing its will. And then secondly, it will learn that if it misbehaves in any way, it will be punished severely with that bull hook.
It's a very sharp point. The bull hook is an extremely sharp pointed weapon, actually, that causes extreme pain to an elephant, and they usually use them in the very sensitive areas around the ear, the trunk, the feet.
And there are lots of documented undercover footage proving that these are the methods that are used to train elephants. So once they essentially break it down emotionally and then begin this training process, the elephant learns that it must comply out of fear. It's all negative reinforcement, or it will be punished severely. So then they can begin to train it to do the tricks that they need it to stand on its head and hind legs and so forth, because it is essentially a slave to its trainers. So that's one of the things. Another big problem is it's not possible to provide for the basic quality of life for these animals in a traveling environment. Any expert in elephant behavior, and also for the big cats, they will tell you there are certain things that these animals need every single day. They have to be able to roam free, forage a little bit, roll around and get a little dust on their backs. These behaviors are all denied to them 100% of the time. The elephants that are in that arena right now, they come in and they perform briefly. They go into the back and they're held by a chain on their foot, and that's where they stay until the next time that they perform. So they'll perform again this evening. They'll be chained in the back of the arena overnight, and the lions and tigers will be placed in small cages, and then that's where they'll stay overnight until they perform again tomorrow. They'll be chained again in between performances, and then at the end they'll be loaded onto the boxcars and taken to the next city.
And sometimes that travel can take up to 24 hours that they'll be in these cars traveling from city to city, and they don't necessarily even get the basic care that they would need in that time confined. So that's another important point, that they literally are confined inside a boxcar for up to 24 hours.
So it is simply impossible in a traveling environment to provide for the quality of life of these animals. Elephants need huge amounts of space to be able to exhibit their normal behaviors, and the lions and tigers have to be in a cage because there's simply no way to let them roam. They jump out of any enclosure and run off. So that's a second a reason why we are firmly opposed to the elephants, the lions, and the tigers, and the other exotic, the wild animals that are in the circus.
Absolutely.
So what do you propose?
We propose, number one, that we think it's probably not the best choice to go see the circus. And we have seen over the past 10 years the attendance level dip way down. When we first started doing these demonstrations, we would see 12 to 14 shows that Ringling had. Lots of people coming in and out. After 10 years, we're seeing 5 to 6 shows when they come to town, and far less people coming in and out. So I think the word is getting out that the circus is an archaic form of entertainment that just necessarily isn't a smart choice for family entertainment anymore. Also, I'm sorry.
There are sanctuaries that will take these animals.
Absolutely.
And so what we're saying is, if you will just retire the exotic animals from your performance, that you would be able to earn our support back. And there are plenty of sanctuaries and advocates who will help get these animals into sanctuaries. The fact is that the kids who are coming to enjoy the circus, they'll follow their parents' lead. So all they really want to do is go out and have fun, eat some cotton candy, watch some acrobatics, and we're saying that the circus can absolutely provide that. In fact, we would encourage it, but it doesn't need to come at the suffering of these animals.
In fact, there is also like Cirque du Soleil as a fabulous example of how you can have fabulous entertainment that shows the feats and amazing things that the human can do to entertain people, but you don't necessarily need animals to do that.
So in terms of the solution, we're saying just retire those animals, and we would be glad to support the circus.
Okay. Well, thank you folks very much, and I appreciate you taking the time out to talk to me. And from Van Andel Arena, this has been the Weird Review. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.